Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the council meeting. First off, could we have phones on silent or off, please? In case of a fire alarm, we leave the hall using the fire exit doors and we muster at the wall near the funeral parlour. Thank you very much. Number 1, to note apologies for absence.
Good evening, Mr Mayor. We have no apologies from any members, but we do have apologies from Councillor White, who's stuck in a meeting at the moment.
Thank you. Number 2, to receive declarations of interest and consider requests for dispensations. Okay. Thank you. To approve the minutes of the full council meeting held on the 3rd of June 2025. Can we have a proposal, please? Thank you, Councillor Perkins. And a seconder, Councillor Damon. Would you want me on the front? Yeah. All in favour, please. Thank you. Just on the bottom. Thank you. Number 4, public forum. 4.1. Borough Councillor Osborne.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and apologies for not being there last meeting. I had some election expenses to deal with that I needed to get sorted. We've had, relatively slow month or so at the borough, just because a lot of the committees are only just kind of getting into gear after our annual council. But I'm pleased, obviously, as you'll all know, that Andy Bullen, one of my colleagues on borough, is of course mayor now of Kingston and West Norfolk, so that's very good, and congratulations to him. I did go on Friday the 6th of June to the Norfolk Anti-Poverty Alliance launch, which took place in Kings Lynn, and that we were invited as borough councillors, and that was quite good just to hear, different groups, what they were doing in Lynn and elsewhere in Norfolk to combat poverty. And the borough was involved as well, because we're becoming a marmot place, the borough as a whole, which is about tackling health inequalities and things like that. So that's something that, over the next months, I'll keep, looking on with interest. Obviously, reorganisation of local government keeps going on, and basically consultation will be starting quite soon from the borough council, together with another 5 district councils, including Norwich, who are, all allied in creating that 3 unitary council case. So they'll start in consultation very soon, producing all the documentation over the summer, which will then go to government in autumn. Government makes its decision in the few months after that, and then we'll be told, obviously, what's going to happen. But hopefully, when consultation does happen, I'll keep you aware of it, but do take part, obviously, and make, whatever your view is on what should happen known, because obviously, people are looking for consultation. I know Norfolk County Council are also consulting on their proposal to just have one council across the whole of Norfolk, which, I certainly don't think it's a great idea, but some people I'm sure will, because they have proposed it. Just in terms of a couple of events, some of which you may already have been told about, there's a Rural Business Connect event in Downham Market on July the 2nd, the Borough Council sort of helping with other organisations like the New Anglia Growth Hub, just to help businesses come and see in that morning if there's anything they can sort of get support with. And it ran last year, but the Love Your Market Town scheme by Norfolk County Council is running once again. I think Mabel Bakery last year did quite a successful scheme, but that applications for that on the 31st of August. But yeah, that's everything I've got.
Thank you. Questions for Councillor Osborne? Councillor Levers.
Good evening, Councillor Osborne. This is not a question. I'd just like to say If you could thank Chris Durham and his team for the beautiful flower beds, particularly in Priory Road. They're outstanding.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries, I'll do that.
Anybody else? No. Thank you very much, Councillor Osborne. 4.2 Police, Councillor Levers with SNAP.
Hello again. The next Safer Neighbourhood Action Panel, SNAP, is on Tuesday the 15th of July at 2025, and it's from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m, and it's in the Downham Market here, Town Hall. Everyone is welcome. If you can't attend, there is an online link via Teams, which I'm hoping the clerk and the admin will put on the Facebook and the council websites. Thank you.
4.3 Public. Any public who wish to say anything? Yep, okay, thank you.
Good evening, Mr Mayor and councillors. I'd just like to bring up an issue that I loaded onto the local website not so long ago about the poor state of the town station signal box. It's in a very poor condition, and I compared it to Little Ports, which I know had some serious problems, but that's all been rectified, painted, and looks what it should do. I believe that ours is a listed building somewhere along the line. I see that I didn't see them yesterday, but I see today on the bridge, you come in that way, all the flowers are up and that, and then you come into the town via that entrance, and then you see the signal box. And it does look a sight, I believe, and it's not good for the town. And anybody who's coming into the town to visit the town by railway, that's the first thing they notice, I would suspect, they're coming off the train. What I'm asking for, I guess, is that would the council be, and I would suspect the best thing to get is an inspection done on that box by these authorities, because it may not be as bad as it looks. It may need some TLC and some painting, and that would bring it really up to speed. But the longer they leave it, the more disrepair it's going to go into, and it could even become dangerous. And at some stage, you may have to pull it down, I don't know, but then that means that the line's going to be closed for who knows how long. So that's my question, I guess, really. Would the council be prepared to, I don't want to put any more pressure or work on admin, so I know how busy they are, but could somebody, perhaps I don't know if you're allowed to, Mr Mayor, sign that particular letter if you agree to it, and send it off to see if we can get something done about it.
Yeah, we could raise that with reinforcement and see how we get on with Borough. Yeah. Councillor Walls. Oh, yeah. Councillor Diamond.
Have you made inquiries to the Heritage Society?
No, but I know somebody who has, and there's quite a few groups. When I put it onto the internet, I think I had a good 100 replies, everybody in favour, saying what the problems may be, what they could be done, volunteers to do that. But if they can do it for Littleport, maybe they can have a look at this one and put it out, that's not such an eyesore to everybody.
Can I also suggest that you talk to the Borough Council, because they're responsible for the buildings that are...
Frank, if I can, sorry, Councillor Damon, if you remember when I was on the council, I brought this up then some years ago and got through to all those in the borough.
Perhaps
it
would be a good
died
idea,
a death.
Be a good idea to remind them again.
Sorry?
Be a good idea to remind.
Councillor Damon. Go.
Thank you.
Councillor. Campbell Peck,
Have you considered speaking to Network Rail, who actually own the box? Network Rail own the box, meaning it's railway infrastructure, so therefore possibly not the borough's responsibility. Not sure about that.
I guess the bottom line is, Mr Mayor, is that I could write and take this even further if I could, but as an individual, I should think it'd be put into the nearest bin and forgotten about. Coming from this authority, I hope, maybe the borough, if you can get the borough on board, that may carry some more weight and we may get some action on it.
Councillor Lewis?
Yeah, Mr Mayor, I do believe that the signal box was redecorated, etc., about 6 years ago when the new gates and everything were all put in and underground cables were put in when the station had a big refurb, and I'm sort of quite sure that they did replace some of the timbers then and repainted it then, which was 6 years ago, so it's probably weathered quite badly in that time. But
with all due respect, I suggest they change their paint then, because if that's 6 years, I know it's out in the open and it takes a lot of wear, but I must admit I didn't notice that it had been redone. And as you say, I think it's just timber, maybe some repairs and some more paint. We can either try or not try. I mean, it's as simple as that, I guess.
Yes, Network Rail should be involved because it's a listed building, but if we want council to debate this, it would have to go on the agenda for next time.
Okay. Could I just raise one more issue, which is, I think, the elephant in the room as far as I'm concerned, or I would have come last time, but I noticed it was on the agenda, car parking. And I don't mean to upset anybody or be, but I think Councillor Damon and perhaps Councillor Pye and others would say that that's been going on for years now with no solution. And then I noticed last time we've got another survey coming up. I just wonder, with all the house building going on and everything, the town's expanding, and good luck for that, whether the actual bottom line is that we're running out of car parking spaces in the town centre. I don't know what the solution is, but I don't know if we've got to that stage yet. We do need people, the town to do well, and that means employing people, and they need somewhere to park, and not all employers have car parking facilities. So again, I say I don't know what the solution is, but sometimes when I drive around and look around, I just think, where else is there? Yep. So, anyhow, I thank you for your time
Thank
this
you,
evening.
because your 3 minutes is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else in public? No? Thank you. Number 5, to consider applications and agree whether or not to co-opt them into the councillor vacancies. We have one, don't we? Yeah. Took on the detail. Can we invite Carrie Ann to the lectern, please, love? Can you just give an overview of why you want to be a councillor, please?
I moved to Downham Market in 2019 as a stepping stone, really. I wasn't going to stay here very long. I came from Wisbech and I just loved it. My family loved it. The environment is wonderful. And I've seen it flourish in the sort of 6 years that I've been living here and participating in local community things. And it just seems to me to have a real community vibe that the council really want the town to do well, and those that live here want the town to do really well. And I already support that in many ways within the community. And I just felt this possibly is another way to help support and help the council go forward, move forward with its ventures, and mix within the community as well as supporting them.
Thank you. Any questions for Carrie Ann? Councillor Pye?
Can we have a secret vote, please? Okay. The head is shaking.
Have we all read what Carrie Ann put on her application? Councillor Julia Pye?
The paperwork we had, there isn't actually a proposer and a seconder. Did that come forward, and is the application
Yeah,
valid?
there was proposer and seconder, but we redacted that, yeah. Vote. Yeah, so I propose that we have Carrie Ann as a councillor. Do I have a seconder then, please? Right, I have a seconder. So, all those in favour, please? All those against? No. Right. Thank you for your application, Carrie Ann, but unfortunately you haven't been successful at this time. There was another application, but the application went in after the agenda was made for today. So the application will be judged on the 15th of July, which is the next council meeting. Number 6, Mayor's announcements. I went to a presentation at RAF Marham. There was an awful lot of top brass there, and really big top brass. And basically, it was the same day that we got told on the news that we are on a war footing with Russia. And we saw various bits of weaponry to suggest that as well. Okay, that's all I can say. I represented council at the funeral of Colin Robinson. A D-Day themed coffee morning at the Grange Care Home. Civic reception at King's Lynn Minster for the King's Lynn Mayor Andy Bullen. St John's Cadets Evening. Training with a talk on central and local government. Dementia Cafe Tea with a Pony at the Magpie Riding Centre. Rose planting ceremony in memory of Councillor John Doyle, Mayor of Downham Market 4 times over. And I got involved with the councillor surgery with Councillor Ali Buxton on Saturday. Number 7, to consider the recommendation from the HR committee regarding cover for the town clerk's leave. And leading that will be Barry Wells, please.
Yeah, good evening, councillors. We had a committee meeting, HR had a committee meeting to discuss what to do about the clerk's leave. Item number 1, it was resolved that to ask Tina, the deputy clerk, if she was prepared to do any extra hours. Now, Tina's come back today and said she is prepared to do extra hours. I'm not going into the details of that email that she sent because there was some personal stuff in there, and I would like the council to consider that proposal to allow Tina to do the hours for Claire's leave.
Are you proposing, Barry?
Yeah, I'll propose that.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
So, all those in favour, please. Thank you very much. Number 8, Finance. 8.1, to consider the internal auditor's report to the 31st of March 2025. All those in favour, please. Oh, I'll propose that, yeah. Seconded, Frank. All those in favour? Against? on this. Right. To approve the annual governance statement, section 1. Yep. I'll propose that, please. Have a seconder for that. All those in favour, please. Yep. Eight 3 to approve the annual accounting statement, section 2. I'll propose that. We have a seconder, please. Barry Wall, thank you. All in favour? Thank you. Eight 4 to agree the arrangements for the exercise of public rights. This goes from the 1st of July to the 11th of August. I'll propose that. Do we have a seconder, please? Councillor Pegg. All in favour? To receive and approve the Mayor to sign bank reconciliation for May 2025. I'll propose that. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Walls. All in favour? Eight 6 to approve the bills for payment. I'll propose that. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Damon. All those in favour? Those against? Yep. Eight 7 to note the receipts. No. Anybody got questions on the receipts? You've all had them? No? Good. 8 to approve the annual insurance renewal. We have 3 renewal quotes. Buildings and contents is 22,595 and 16 pence. We have a cyber insurance, £645 and 12 pence, and personal accident at £467 and 31 pence.
Councillors, just to confirm that this is an accumulator policy, so this rises by 5%. Last year it will do. I have noticed a few errors within the policy document, of which the insurance broker has noted. That includes the contact address, which is still saying the old address, and I'm confirmed that it has been updated. The description of the town hall had banking hub in there. I have confirmed with the broker that Aviva know that there is not a banking hub in there. I've asked them to update the description of the Jubilee Sports Centre, as it refers to it being a youth club that's used once by the boxing club, and obviously that it's got sole use at the moment by the boxing club. And I've also asked them to amend the description on Cousin Court, which currently says that it's an unoccupied property, which isn't correct. It's occupied on 2 levels, and it's only the bottom level that isn't occupied.
Any questions on that, please? Councillor Dixon.
Yeah, the one thing when I read that was this cost £22,000. What's the value of the total properties when insured? Theft and so fire and contents. What's the total value that they're covering? Do we know?
I haven't actually got that figure to hand, but it's somewhere around 13 million last time I looked at it.
Okay.
You've got assets of just over 7 million, but obviously it's covering this building going down and then being closed for 2 years and things like that.
And we're locked in this year. We can look around next year.
All right, there was no option to look at further courts and pay a penalty?
You could look for a penalty, but this is quite in keeping with what the industry standard is. It was assessed in last November against other policies as an industry standard, this actual policy with Aviva, and it was found to be competitive.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Should we vote on that? Yep.
Councillor Damon.
Oh, Councillor Damon, yep.
Just for the record, can I ask what date the policy runs out, please, that existed?
The 6th of July 2025. Oh, 2026 next year.
Okay.
And then we can look for a new
Okay.
policy.
Thank you.
So I'm going to propose that we go ahead with that, seeing as we are fairly well locked in. Councillor Damon, second. All those in favour, please. Lovely, thank you. Number 9, to consider and agree unbudgeted expenditure relating to 9-1 civic regalia. This is basically we've run out of name bits on this chain, and the query was, do we get a new link to go on the back, or do we retire this chain in a safe place on the wall and buy a new chain to start with? Bearing in mind, to put this on with a link at the back would be hard. I'll try and demonstrate. You can get your head through fairly well at the moment, but with another link put at the back, it would be... So basically then the question is, which direction do we want to go? Do we want to keep the chain as it is, or do we want to invest in the future with a new chain and put this on display? It's up to you to comment, a discussion. Yep, Councillor Pegg.
Can I ask if it's unbudgeted? Where's the money coming from?
Reserves, yeah, reserves, yep. Councillor Pyatt, yep.
Can I be reminded of what Fattorini said, who originally did all the designs and everything for that chain? They're still going, they're a good company, and I think they were the cheapest option, and I believe we should keep the history in this town. We'll stick it in a cupboard and forget it and then start doing something else. That's wrong. We should give a chance to have it done properly by a good company, and Fattorini's is a good company. They've done all the badges and that in the past for us, and even factory the deputy's chain as well.
Right. Frank? Councillor Damon, yep.
Is there a problem with attaching the chain underneath the existing rear chain? I don't think there is. That would
At the back, you mean?
Yes, at the back. Could it be put there? I don't see a problem with that.
On the outside, yeah.
On the
you could do
outside,
that,
yeah.
Yeah, could have another loop on the outside
That's
of it,
what,
as long
and
as
then you'd still be able to
you're
get
not
your head
making
through.
the head bit any. No,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my suggestion.
Obviously, the loop then would have more links in it, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Councillor Lewis.
Can I just ask if Councillor Pyatt, if that was a proposal, I'll second it.
At the moment, with what happened last week, I would like to be satisfied that a motion has been sufficiently debated. That's in Standing Orders 2S. So I would like to keep debate going, if we could, before we have a proposal. its health. Yep, Councillor Wild.
Has a replacement been costed?
No, that would be done if council would require that. Councillor Leach.
Is it possible just to turn it round the other way and engrave the other side for another 30 years?
They already are.
They already have?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Good thinking, but yeah. Yep.
A new chain every 30 years isn't really a big problem. Just put it on display.
I think it's a bit longer than 30 years, but...
A new chain every so many years.
Yeah.
Just cost of replacement. That's what I'm thinking.
Councillor Damon suggested, could we ask them that, and then if need be we can then look at costing for a replacement? That way we've at least eliminated the option.
Good idea. Yep. Two process. Yep. Anybody else for discussion?
My thought on this is, if it's capital expenditure, is it written down each year, and does the chain have a particular life? As with other assets, you would say, right, this is an asset like a car you'd buy for, say, 10 years, and you'd write off 10% each year until the value is gone. Do we have a similar situation with the chain? No. In which case, I was going to suggest we do that with the chain and say, well, this chain's lasted perhaps 50 years, and we should budget for the next chain to last 50 years, and the cost per year would be fairly low compared with the capital expenditure to start with. Just how it's accounted for, really.
Councillor Levers.
I agree with Councillor Pyatt. I think we should keep this. It is history and it is true. I mean, will insurance cover us if we stuck it in a cupboard or something where nobody sees it? I think we should try and do something with the one
It wouldn't be in the cupboard, it'd be on display.
Yeah, okay, but I think you should do something with the one you've got on and continue to use it.
Yep. Okay. Shall we go back to your proposal then, Councillor Pyatt, if you want?
Thank you, Mayor. I propose that we allow Fattorini to have a look at it, give us a costing of it, and also, if you wish, a costing for a new one. But I would try and see if we can do this one, because it has got history with it, and it's a shame to put history in the cupboard.
Councillor Pegg, seconds, yep. All in favour then?
I was just going to ask what we're going to ask them to do, put another loop around it. What are we going to ask them to actually do?
Yeah, loop at the back.
Another loop
but
at the
we
back.
also get a price for a new one
All right.
in case. Yeah. That was the proposal.
Yes, whatever they wish to do with it. Yep.
Yeah, that was the proposal. Yeah. So we've got a proposer and a seconder, all in favour. Thank you. Right. 9.2, tree works at Cousins Court. I don't know whether you've been and had a look. There's a tree growing virtually out of the wall floor out at Cousins Court near the shop. It's getting quite large now, so it's getting under the emergency work sort of. We're not quite sure if it's going to affect the building or not. So, yep, Councillor Lewis.
Have we got any quotes for this yet? And if not, shall we get 3 quotes to get it removed?
Yep.
Yeah, Councillor Lewis, I have asked for 3 different people to come out and actually look at it. I have also done some research myself. I do have just some concerns if it was to be completely taken away, whether it would then disturb the foundations of the building. Some of the recommendations I've seen is for putting copper in and then slow decay so that it doesn't make a massive difference to the building. But it depends on whether council are minded to even go down that route, but I have preempted and asked for some cost-free quotes. So.
Yes, situation, you can't leave it growing because it's going to do more damage. So. Any discussion on that? Councillor Levers.
Am I right in thinking that you'll have to apply to the planning department?
I have spoken to the tree officer and he has no objections with it coming down. It's not under a preservation order or anything like that. Really, the guidance I'm asking for, are council happy to have it removed and chopped significantly, or are you looking just for the canopy to be reduced, really?
Councillor Wiles, I think you had your hand up.
Yeah, well, all I'll say, if it's mine, it'd have to come down. If it's detrimental to the building, not necessary to take the route out at this stage, leave the route, and then if it becomes a problem, we're insured.
Councillor Hawkes?
No, it's never been.
Right. Yeah, so we'll leave it that we're happy to get the quotes, 3 quotes, and then... Right, number 10, to consider the creation of a committee to manage car parks and, if appropriate, to consider 10.1, the name of the committee, 10.2, to discuss and agree terms of reference, including aims and objectives, membership, delegation, reporting mechanism, budget, frequency of meetings. Councillor Pegg, please. Yeah.
Let's not go to property. It was used to be on property, and it was a subcommittee of property. Shouldn't have a what I'm trying to avoid is another committee.
Yep.
We can agree and disagree, but it's for full council to decide where this is aimed at. All right, so does anybody have discussion on this then, please? Councillor Poyet?
Can I refer to Standing Order 4A and suggest this goes to the property, and if necessary for a subcommittee or a working party formed from there, rather than having another committee like Councillor Pegg said? I think we're going to struggle with what we've got. We've got to think of staffing levels, and I think we should just let that go to property.
Councillor Buxton?
Can this not just go to full council or an EGM just to get the standing order started? That way every councillor has the chance to go, because we all have an opinion on it. I agree with not doing extra committees, fair enough, but at least if it's at full council, we all get a say. Otherwise, we're just going to go back and forward.
Councillor Julie Poyet?
I agree. This is a topic that should be dealt with by property. They will not do anything about it. It will be just to look at management, and then any ideas they have, looking at all sorts of things, it will come back to full council for full council to have the final say.
Councillor Levers?
Anybody who wants to add anything can come to the meetings and speak in the public participation as well.
Right. Who wants to propose then? Councillor Poyet, Councillor Pegg, second. All those in favour? All those against? It's passed. Number 11, Human Resources Committee. 11.1, to agree membership following receipt of applications, we have 3 people on the committee at the moment. That have put applications forward anyway. Ideally, we want 7 members on this committee. The other way of thinking is that we could go externally with this committee, so they would have no idea of any problems or anything that the council does have. Councillor Walls.
Yeah, I propose with the minefield that human resources is, you need professionals dealing with it. I've been chair of human resources, I haven't enjoyed it that much, but let's just say I think that needs to go to a professional group.
I think I would agree with Councillor Wiles that it is a professional matter. It needs to be dealt with by professionals. I've been on the Human Resources Committee. It worked very well, but I did feel at times we could have done with external help. And at that point, I thought, well, if we're looking for external help, we might as well go externally for it and get a professional service that we can rely on.
Councillor Levers.
If we go externally, it must not be anybody that we've ever dealt with before. We need to start off as a new company who doesn't know hasn't been in contact like Krona, who we use at the moment. We must not be with them. We must be with someone who's completely neutral and knows nothing about this council.
Councillor Leach.
I'd like to agree with Barry. This is a minefield, and I think it would take away a lot of tension if someone outside was dealing with it. I really do.
Councillor Brew.
At the risk of repeating the sentiment, I agree. I went on HR committee last year, and it was the first thing when I addressed committee was to say that this needs to go to an external provider and take the council out of it. So I agree with everybody that's spoken so far tonight.
Seems to be the consensus. Councillor Damon.
I believe that, yes, go to external sources, but still have the right of this council to put information to it as if we see something that doesn't look quite right or should be changed to make it look right. Thank you.
Yes, I think I agree with Councillor Damon. We need some accountability here. We need a way of reporting back to the council. So therefore, we do have a governance and finance committee. Perhaps they could be the committee that receives the recommendations from the external source. And then they would pass those recommendations on for full council to debate.
Right. We can't actually vote on this tonight. It would have to go on an agenda on the 15th of July. But we could still discuss and agree the terms of reference for it, if you so wish.
Councillor Pegg wanted to speak.
Councillor Pegg.
Thank you. The actual item on the agenda is to agree membership following receipt of applications, not what has been spoken about and decided.
No, but if we're going to rent down the route of external, which is what we're talking about, we can't vote on that tonight. That would have to go on to another agenda on the 15th. Yeah. Well, if that's what the consensus is, we can have a proposer and second and see what we're doing, yeah. Who wants to propose that then? Right. Yeah. So you still want 3 people on it? Right. Yeah. Yeah. This is a difficult situation because there should be 7 members on this committee and there's only 3 people applied for this. So basically at the moment all we can vote on is the 3 members who have applied to join it. If anybody wants to propose on that. Yeah, Councillor Levers.
I think I'm right that we could rescind it and have less, couldn't we? Could aim for 5 even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because the rescindment's not on the agenda, you can't do that at this meeting, so that would then have to go forward with 5 of you putting it forward for the 15th of July. And if you are minded to go external, that rescindment would have to happen anyway, because otherwise you're directing council that they need 7 membership and then doing something different. But you can still vote tonight on the 3 applications if council are minded to, and they've got a proposer and a seconder. If it fails, then you go back and decide what you want direction to be given.
Technical, yep. Yeah, Councillor Begg. No? So, do we want to propose and second on the 3 applications that we have for the committee then? Julie Pyatt.
Yes, I would propose the agenda item to agree membership following receipt of applications for the Human Resources Committee.
Councillor Warren. Yep. Yep. Okay. And then 11.2 who seconded that? Councillor Walls, yeah. So, all in favour then, please. Yep. Just passed anyway, thank you. Yeah. Can you put your hand up again, please? We just need to, again. And against on that? This is getting a bit technical on this one. Yeah. 11.2 to discuss and agree terms of reference for the committee. Councillor Pyatt.
Yeah, I believe this was already on the agenda for the meeting of the 20th of May. It was discussed there and passed. The terms of reference that was sent out to councillors.
Yep. No. There was no decision made on that day, no. So we do need to discuss and agree terms. Anybody discuss? Councillor Downham.
I'm sorry, I thought we'd just discussed this around this table, that we would go to an external source. Did we not?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yes, but
I thought that's what we agreed.
Yeah.
So Councillor Damond, what? Okay.
Councillor Levers.
have we changed direction now then because of some ruling that we used to do terms of reference in the first meeting of the new committee?
So the standing orders that were the model ones that were agreed in January they state a long list that full council are responsible for. You can direct the committee to do it, but ultimate ownership stays with full council.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Leach.
I don't know if this is possible, but can we just postpone this until the first Human Resources Committee, because there probably won't be a Human Resources Committee.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll direct it to the Human Resources Committee then, if that's what you want. Do you need to vote on that? Yeah, I'll propose it. Councillor Leach, second. All in favour, please.
So the proposal is to direct it to the actual committee to draft the terms of reference and make recommendation to full council.
Yep. Can we just redo that vote for, please? Vote for. Yep. Sorry about that, it was a bit technical, that one. Number 12, to agree the membership of the Community Engagement Committee. At the moment we've got 4, we need 7 really. We've only got 3 now. Yep, okay, we've got 3. If anybody would like to join that one, please. That's the one that does all the events and gets involved with the publicity for the town. Yeah, at the moment we've got Councillor Hobbs, myself and Councillor Campbell Rob. So if anybody else is interested.
I think this is crucial to what we do as a council. I think we need to engage with the community. It's not just events. It's engaging with people like the business community. We've made some good strides over the last year with the business community, engaging with the borough council as well as businesses, putting businesses in touch with the borough council and so on. It would be a shame not to build on the networking that we've done there and to invite people in the community who have ideas for the community to come and talk to us about it. We need a committee, a strong committee that people can come and talk to with their ideas, especially with new people moving into the town. Discuss those ideas and see what we can bring forward or what they can bring forward with our help. So I think it's a vital committee, and I think more of us, it would be a shame if we didn't have more people involved. Thank you.
Minor thing, I don't think I am on that committee. You said, and Councillor Campbell Robb.
Councillor Campbell Robb, you expressed an interest through the Deputy Clerk. Happy to obviously take your name off, but that does mean that there is no committee because you can't have a committee. Well, no, you can't. You can't have a committee with 2 members. To be quorate, there must be a minimum of 3. So it's usually an evening meeting, generally on a Wednesday, but I understand it could be on a Tuesday as long as obviously it's not with full council, and approximately 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Right, so we're down to 2. No, so at the moment there is no committee on that one. Number 13, Planning Committee. 13.1, to accept terms of reference as recommended by the committee.
To Council, there was a little misunderstanding here. The Planning Committee took the terms of reference and made the recommendation directly to full council rather than going the other way and being directed. But there are no change in these terms of reference. They are as has gone before, and they have been circulated already. So apologies from that committee. But as I say, It wasn't done with any intention.
No. So
Can I propose them? Yeah.
Yep, I'll second those as well. So all in favour then, please, on those, please. Thank you. Thank you. And 13.2, to co-opt the vacancy on that committee, we've got one vacancy for planning. Anybody's interested? Councillor Brew?
Yes, I'd be interested in joining the planning committee. Planning was one of the main drivers for joining the council 2 and a bit years ago. I've always had a deep interest in town and country planning, which came from when I lived in down on Windsor Street, and I saw lots of houses being built behind me, and I wondered how that had happened. And I went headfirst into the planning, town and country planning process. I was on it last year, but I did resign because I was on governance and HR, and the workload was getting a bit too much for me because I also work full time. But I would like to go back on committee if the committee will have me, please.
I propose that she does go on there.
Yep. I'll second that. All in favour then, please? All against? Councillor Dunn. Okay. Thank you. Number 14, Governance and Finance Committee. 14.1 to agree terms of reference. Have we got enough on that? Yeah. Oh, it says here we've got 2 vacancies. Yeah, terms of reference, that's what we're doing, yeah. So, what are the terms of reference then?
So, councillors, the Deputy Clerk circulated some draft terms of reference. If you're happy with them, propose them. If you're not, then just make comment on them, and obviously council could decide where they go with it.
Yep. Have you all seen the terms of reference? Yep. So I'll propose them anyway. Go on in, Councillor White, yep.
Thank you. The only thing at the procurement at the end, will that be presented back to the full council for ratification? That's to do with the licences and things that they're going to look at and negotiate all new leases and licences.
It all has to come before.
Will that all come back to full council before it's ratified?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, I'm happy with that then.
Yep. So I'll propose anyway. So we get a seconder for that. Councillor Hunt. All in favour then, please. Thank you. And we have 2 vacancies on the Governance and Finance Committee, if anybody's interested. No takers? No, right. 15, Property Committee then. 15.1 to agree the terms of reference. Again, I think you've seen those. Councillor Julie Pyatt.
Under assets, Jubilee Community Centre maintenance, could we also include Jubilee Community Centre maintenance, car park and grounds?
Okay.
Yeah, and also further down, management of the car parks, maintenance as well of car parks.
Okay.
Yeah. There's no issue with that, Councillor Pyatt. The only reason that the actual car parks was left off is because we didn't know if there'd be a car park committee and what those terms of reference are. Since it's going into property, there's no issue with those as long as council are minded to accept them.
Right. Anything else? Councillor Brew.
Can I ask that, is it possible, to debate having some sort of financial remit on the property committee? Because from what I can work out, they've got about £30,000, no more than that, sorry, £300,000 to spend in that sort of mark. Can there be a limit on certain projects that need to be ratified at full council? Say, I don't know, 10, 15,000, any projects over 15,000 to come to full council for ratification?
Yeah, there's limits now on financial regs and whatever. Yeah.
Can I ask more detail on what that...
So yeah, anything under 500 I can approve. Anything up to 2,000, apologies if I've got this wrong, but from memory it's 3 councillors, so that would obviously involve the committee as well. And then anything over 5,000 must come back to full council. So anything over 5,000 would have to be a recommendation back here.
Anything else? Right, so shall we propose the terms of reference for property committee then? I'll do that. Yes, yeah. So we're proposing with the recommendations made by Julie Pyatt included, all right? So I'll propose that. Second to Councillor Perkin. All in favour, please. Thank you. For 15.2, to co-opt a vacancy on the committee, we have 1 vacancy on the property committee. Councillor Jordan.
Vacancy should go to Councillor Perkin because he actually stepped aside in the last meeting to allow for the 9, I believe, which is on there. Since then we've had a resignation, so I'd like just to put forward, if Councillor Perkin is still interested, that is, that he is co-opted to
thank you.
that committee.
I'll second that.
Obviously, if he wants to, though, Mr. Mayor.
Would Councillor Perkin would like to go on the committee? Lovely. I'll second that then, Councillor Jordan. All those in favour then, please. Thank you. Number 16, to agree following matters of community engagement, as we've not got a committee at the moment. 16.1, St Winnow's Day Parade 2026, including a change of day. We're going to do it on the Saturday instead of a Friday. Yep. 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 Tina can lead on that, please.
Yeah, this suggestion came up through the committee when it was still going. We've had a look at it. I've spoken to the people that are usually involved. The only organisation that can't come on a Saturday appears to be the Magpie Centre, who send 2 ponies. That sounds like not much, but actually to lose 2 ponies out of that parade is quite a lot. The feeling was that, shall we give it a try? Shall we try a Saturday and see whether it makes any difference to the crowds, to the people that turn out for it? This year I thought was really good with the new route. There seemed to be an awful lot more people out watching as it went through the town. But it's up to you really to decide what you'd like to do.
Councillor Levers.
There was a lot of, on social media, people who work who said they would love to be on a Saturday. So that's why a member of the committee brought it up as well.
Well, the big thing we shall need with council for Saturday, we'll need volunteers to man the route, please. Or we pay the security firm again to do it, which was a bit dearer last time, but it was a good security firm. Yeah, the security firm would do the road closure as they did this year. It was excellent. I'll be with you in a minute. But we need volunteers down the roadway and round the market, because on a Saturday it is busier, so it's not like a Friday where there's not so many people. Okay, so it would mean council help. Councillor Peake, please.
Yeah, I did read about it and the children, and I think this is a good thing for the children. How will it affect the children from school?
Yeah, that is the only thing. The disadvantage we've written down is, apart from the Magpie Centre, is the schools won't be able to send their children. It'll be down to the parents. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Hillcrest have made a comment that if we go back to doing on Friday after this year, they'll bring more children, because this year they didn't bring that many. So the thing is, do the cons, outweigh the disadvantages? Because, like you say, it's done for the school children, and if they're not coming, that's one disadvantage. Magpie Centre can't come with their £2. Doesn't sound a lot, but it's supposed to be a horsey thing, and there ain't that many horses. So. Sorry? Yeah, of course it is, yeah. Councillor Evers.
Sorry. I think we should have a trial. Just do it once. If it isn't successful, if we're always afraid to do things, we'll never do anything. So I think we should have a go. And I don't know if the deputy clerk thinks she might be able to get some other horses. You know, she's got a year to do it nearly.
It's not so much the horses, it's getting the children involved. That's what we really want.
May I speak?
Councillor Buxton.
I'm happy to put a proposal forward when discussions have concluded, and I will put my name down for volunteering and book the day off work.
Dina?
You're just on the horses. We try every year to try and get horses. They're horses that are trustworthy enough to process, are not spooked by vehicles and crowds and children and all the rest of it. We have to be so careful about the horses that come. We did try the household cavalry this year even, and they were really sweet, but I don't think they'll be able to come or even send just a contingent. So it's really hard. We try every year for horses, which is why the Magpie Centre is, it's another thing to consider. Yeah.
They have problems as well. Right. Councillor Evers, yeah.
We might have more children come anyway with their parents. The parents have not been able to come, so they might bring them anyway. We just don't know. This is all unknown land,
Councillor Campbell-Robb.
Nobody has a crystal ball. I think we should do it on a Saturday, because doing it on a Saturday with the minor horse problem, let's be honest here, it's a fairly minor problem. Nope.
Well, this is a conundrum. We can trial a Saturday, but it will have to be with the understanding that we employ enough volunteers to help on the route, i.e. councillors, and that we can get the security firm that we want on the Saturday as well.
So all I was suggesting was you may wish to make a proposal that we trial for 1 year on a Saturday with authorisation that if we cannot obtain enough volunteers within council, that the office is authorised to employ additional personnel. Because obviously we're going to have to come in, but 2 of us aren't going to be enough if council aren't able to assist, would be my suggestion. Because there's no committee to keep going backwards and forwards to.
Councillor Damon.
I'm sorry, but you're doing away with tradition.
Yeah.
This goes back to the First World War, unfortunately, when horses were sold in the town to support the English armies in their fight in Europe. And that's what it goes back to. And it's always been a Friday, so you're breaking with the tradition of the original setup of it. I think it should stay as Friday, which is the best. And it's easier on the Friday because you've already stated there are less people in the town.
Yep, Councillor Judy Pye.
Yeah, I believe, once again, the borough have kindly given you a grant. So hopefully there's enough money in the budget if you need stewards to employ some And as the idea has gone forward on a Saturday, like Councillor Lever said, give it a go and see what happens.
Okay. Councillor Levers.
I would propose that when the debating is finished in what the clerk has said.
I'm either happy to keep my proposal or second that Councillor Lever's.
Okay, all in favour then?
Can I just confirm that the proposal is that we have a trial for 1 year on a Saturday with authorisation given to the office that if we can't steward enough from volunteers within council, we can use the funds given by the Borough Council to employ stewards along the route for safety.
Yeah. All in favour then, please. Thank you. No. It's history. And against, please. That's passed. Thank you. 16.2 is VJ Day. 2025 plans, Dina.
Yeah, we're closer to this date than I would like if we were going to start doing anything grand. Worth noting that there isn't anything nationally planned like there was for D-Day. We had all the pack, we had the instructions about the beacon and all the various bits and bobs that went with that. Nothing has come through for VJ Day. I've spoken to the British Legion locally, and even they are not planning anything big. They are going to be doing at most a wreath laying at the memorial, pretty much like they did for D-Day, the 80th anniversary of D-Day. And it's for council to decide what we are going to be doing.
Councillor Wild.
Yeah, well, I've got quite strong feelings about this, but I believe they should be honoured. I think that we should have a service at least, and probably even a flag raising. I don't know about that, but, you know, them poor souls suffered, and they shouldn't be forgotten.
Councillor B.
Thank you. Yeah, I would agree with Barry on that one, because they've been known now as the Forgotten Army for, you know, since it happened, and thousands and thousands of British soldiers died on that runway and the building and everything else. And if you just go back to watching one of the old films, The Bridge Over the River Kwai, that's how it was treated.
Councillor Brewer.
Okay, I did email the Deputy Clerk and also the ex-chair of Community Development a few weeks ago. One of my lovely customers is 97 years young, and for her, VJ Day really signifies the end of the World War II. Now, I was very privileged to be invited to the VE Day celebration that RAFA held, and what we had, it was held at a local establishment with a nice size function room, but what they had was the tables were laid out in a street party fashion, lots of decorations. We enjoyed a small meal. We had a professional singer, so we all sang along to war songs, and there was also a short quiz on World War II as well, which was very interesting, and I found it very humbling. And I agree that at this point, 80 years, we should in some way, however small, signify that. Now, I've spoken to my lady today, and I think RAFA are organising the same sort of thing again. I wondered if, but they're doing it in September, so not the date, but so it will be in September. I wondered if we could sort of collaborate with RAFA and maybe do something in the Grand Hall or support them in some way on that, but I would like it noted that we support them. Thank you.
Councillor Poet.
My uncle was on the railway line working on there. Luckily he came home, many of his friends didn't, and I will support any help to do the VJ Day. I will help you if you wish to have anything done on that I will certainly support it.
Councillor Lee.
I was about to say, I've actually been on the bridge on River Kwai and been on the train, and I've actually been to the GF Museum, and it is, well, I can't describe it. It's really awful to see and know that people, you see all the photographs, and I've been to Canterbury, and a lot of Norfolk regiment are buried there. I took photographs, so I feel quite emotional talking about it now. But unfortunately, as the Deputy Clerk will confirm, we never get enough volunteers, and it's always the same people. So if we want to do something, we just have to up the volunteers.
Can I vote on it?
Yeah, it's not even just the volunteers, is it, Councillor Levers? When we tried to do something previously, I can't remember, was it the 80th of D-Day? I think it was.
D-Day.
We just didn't get the support from the town. The people, we didn't get enough people coming, and we had to scale back the plans quite significantly because we didn't get the support from the town. I think probably joining with RAFA in support of their event might be more practical. I don't know, but that's for you to decide.
Councillor Downham.
The only thing I've got to say is that this was the conclusion of the Second World War, and it also reminds us of what happened when certain nuclear devices were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and the results that we saw, I hope, has created the peace that we seem to have survived without using nuclear weapons up to now. And I think we should remember that it wasn't just, it was the rest of the world, and it was the end of World War II, which was needed and happened. And we should remember that. It was 80 years ago. At the time it happened, I myself was 5 years and 4 days old when it was all finished. I'll just say that, that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, we're looking at
I think we should remember it. I think we could do a beacon, because we already have that. It already exists. And
usually we only do the beacon when it's part of a national chain of beacons that go round. As I say, for VJ Day, we haven't got that instruction this year, and it's usually triggered by an instruction from the palace. And there is obviously a cost to lighting the beacon. It's not free.
the reason we're a democracy was because of it. I'm sorry.
Councillor Pye.
Can I suggest that if you have nothing at all but a flag raising, that we do a service just there, if we can, and ask Father Mather, he'll come along and just say a few words, even if it's to 2 or 3 people. Let's do something to show that we still respect the people who fought in the wars for us. And this VJ Day is as important as the VE Day, I feel, because we lost a lot of people in a bad, bad way, and I believe we should do that. And I'm quite happy for simple things rather than a big glowing thing. So I'm quite happy to support that.
I would support Councillor Pyatt in that, and I think we should do something, even if it's a simple flag raising and a service. At least we've remembered the people who gave so much for what we have today.
Okay. Anybody else? Should we vote on that? Right, can we have the authorisation to buy a reef to lay at the RBL site then, please? As well, please. Yep. I'll propose it. Yep, so all in favour then. Thank you. That's all. Yeah. Thank you. 16.3, the purchase of Santa gifts.
Yeah, every year for the last few years, we've given away a tree ornament to any child that comes to see Santa, and many that don't get to see Santa because there's not enough time for everybody to see them. Last year there was a ceramic disc with something like Downham Market Town Council Christmas 2024, words like that. This year, as you can see, well, you will have seen from that briefing paper, Santa, I'll call him Santa, has come up with this design of a clock made of gingerbread. It's not going to be made of gingerbread, it will be ceramic or something. But they do come out at £5 per gift. He gave us lots of other alternatives which were equally beautiful, but they were a lot more money. So we have a donation of £1,000 towards the gifts, and I did meet Santa outside the toilets in Tesco's actually on festival day, and I chatted about the cost of the gifts, and he said he would be able to do something about the price in return for sponsorship. I'm always in two minds about sponsorship because it puts an onus on the council to advertise someone's business. Don't know how people feel about that. And there is always a mismatch of what they expect of us and what we're prepared to do. So it's for discussion.
How much did we spend last year on them?
I think they were £3.60.
No, how many did we get?
300.
300. And
They all went. They did all go.
So that's £900. These are 1,000. That's 200 for a start. Isn't it?
Councillor Levers.
We took money from U-Switch to put their banner up. So where would he want the promotion?
I haven't spoken in detail exactly what he wants. I was going to run it past yourselves to see whether that was even something that you wanted to explore. I haven't had that discussion with him yet. But it will be promoting his business. Usually it's mentioning business on all the Facebook posts, any advertising that we do for the Christmas lights. There was a banner previously. Whether he would want a banner, I don't know.
Councillor Leach.
I don't have a problem with taking sponsorship, but also I find it incredible that Santa Claus needs publicity.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's not for Santa Claus. It's for his other business.
Don't spoil his dream. Go. Anybody else? Councillor Campbell, Rob, have you got your hand up? Or? Oh.
So, if I don't see a problem with sponsorship from these, from a business that, as long as it's a business that benefits the town, which it seems to, there's not a problem with sponsorship. As long as it will mean that we're spending less money. Instead, he's partly paying for it, partly funded by blah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Councillor Dixon, I'm just going to jump in with the Mayor's authority. Just to confirm, the difference is £300. So, Council, if you, with the donation of £1,000, if you have no sponsorship, you're looking at spending £500. With sponsorship, you're looking at spending £200. So the value of the sponsorship is £300. Sorry, Councillor Dixon.
Councillor Dixon, yeah.
The same as everyone else, I don't really have a problem with the sponsorship, but I would also say that what would you do if other businesses came forward seeing that and wanted to do something similar? And where does that leave us?
Yeah, we've had commercial sponsorship in the past, so, yeah. Councillor Hobbs.
Is it not the case that we would consider each offer of sponsorship on its merits at the time?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Councillor Levers.
We do not sponsor, but we do promote other activities on our council website. I've seen them.
Anybody else? Yep. So I'll propose that we spend. No. Well, you propose and I'll second it. And so, Councillor Leach and me. So, all in favour then?
Sorry, can I just ask which way you're proposing, with sponsorship or without? Take the sponsorship.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favour then, please. Thank you. Lovely. 16.4 is community feedback from skate park focus group and agree actions. Dina?
So you've all had the full report of the little group that Luke brought together. There's some councillors there also. It does seem like it's a valued resource in the town, and we need to know where to go on the back of that report, really. Do you want to look at the potential costs of replacing the skate park? There was a clear indication that some sort of concrete skate park would be much preferable to the wooden one that we've got for all sorts of reasons, and it was in the report. Over to you really for discussion. How do you want to take it forward?
Councillor Dixon.
I think as a council we should be looking to replace the skate park. It's a well-used facility, and if we're going to replace it, we should be doing something that's sustainable. So replacing like for me is not an option. We need to be investing the right amount of money into the resource and making sure it's usable for the next 20, 30 years. So for me that means concrete.
Councillor Campbell.
I was at this focus group and I just would like to compliment the attendees. They had some very good suggestions. The overwhelming focus seems to be get this skate park replaced.
Councillor Watts.
Yeah, I was present at the meeting with Luke, just to be nosy really, but they were a very impressive group. They knew the stuff, they knew where to get sponsorship, they knew quite a lot more than you would expect from youngsters of their age, and I think we should investigate a concrete skate park. The general consensus was the one at March is the best they've been on and the most suitable, and I think we should look at going forward and investigating how much one would cost and bring it back to council and see what we can do with it.
Councillor Potter, did you have your hand up? Oh, right. Councillor Levers.
In the last meeting when we discussed the skate park, I gave a list of where you could get grants from. So I think we should also investigate the grant situation because it's going to cost at least £150,000, but I think it'll be truly worthwhile for the young of the town.
I did also see in the report about a graffiti wall, which could be a good idea as well. Might cut down the amount of graffiti in the town. Councillor Boyd.
We did try a graffiti wall, but the wrong words were going on there. And it was an insult. We had to pull it down because it was getting so misused with swear words and one thing or another, and some things I didn't even know about.
Councillor Ward.
Can I ask that Luke goes ahead with making more investigations? He's done a fantastic job on his report. He engaged with the youngsters well, and he was the right man for the job.
I'll agree on that. Well done. Yep. So, do we have a vote on that? Councillor Brewer, yeah.
So we're just looking at the price to replace, because I noticed from the report with Norfolk Borough Council, the feasibility study for the 3G pitch. Is that the report I'm thinking of, where it's sort of said about doing different things with the field anyway, like a Mugger Court where the current old car park is, whether or not having the skate park where it currently is the best thing, given the redevelopment that we're doing on the site with the building, potentially the 3G pitch.
I explained to the funders the suggestions that had come out of the skate park report, and they had no issue with it going where it was, being larger. They didn't feel that it was too close to a potential 3G pitch, and they actually said that the funders support multi-sport on the site. So they also referred to another location, and I'm really sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head, where it had been done recently.
Right.
So yeah, there was no negativity regarding it.
So that was the borough feasibility study.
Yeah, so we saw two consultants for the borough's feasibility study.
Right,
so it wasn't the actual borough, it was the consultants, but that's what they'd said.
So we'll be looking to replace where it's currently sited.
That's up to council to decide, but it is quite nicely sited so that it's away from any potential pitches.
Right.
Even if you had some grass or something else, it's on the side rather than being in the middle. But again, it's up to council to decide if they want to change that.
Right, okay, thank you.
Councillor Pye?
The decision where it is now was made by the police and the officials of the borough because of the safety of children and the use of the skate park if we put it anywhere else. So we really need to stay where we are, I think, and just make it larger in concrete.
Councillor Wiles?
Yeah, sorry I'm coming again, but can I just add that the concrete structure is generally sunken and it doesn't have the hazards of where people can hide and do things and be a nuisance. They're out in the open, they will be seen. Hopefully they will be filmed if they do anything wrong, and it will be, I say practically indestructible, but you never know how strong some of these youngsters are, but it's not skaters that damage what they use. It is the others that don't want to see them enjoying themselves. Thank you.
Okay, got a positive consensus on that. So do we want to have a vote to go forward to price this up? Basically, do we have a proposer? Yeah. Councillor Wiles?
So Councillor Wiles, what I suggested was that you are authorised in the office to get a quote for a concrete skate park very similar to the March, if not the same as the March. Yeah, perfect.
Second, Councillor Damon. Yep. Councillor Levers.
It's not working. Should we not be investigating the grants at the same time, or?
Yeah, I need the quote before I can go down the grant route. So it's like our seal applications. We have to go forward with the 3 quotes before we make the seal application.
Okay.
Thank you. Right, got a proposer and a seconder. So all those in favour then, please. Yep, thank you. Right.
Sorry, Councillor Dixon did want to make a comment.
Sorry, I missed you.
I know Councillor Pye says about it going in the same location, but someone suggested that the park could be sunken and that land gets flooding from the car park. So I think we should also consider location and whether the current position of the skate park is suitable. There's no point in building a skate park and then it being covered in water, so it would have to be above ground in its current location.
Okay, yep. Okay, Thanks for that comment. 16.5, Christmas lights switch on, first aid and security arrangements and fun fair. Tina to lead, please.
I need a decision on first aid cover for the Christmas lights. Sadly, St John's didn't quite hit the mark last year and left us quite vulnerable. I've been in touch with the people that covered the festival this year and was really impressed with what I heard from them. They're off-duty A&E staff, so trauma trained. They bring an ambulance to the event. I don't know that we can get anything better than that, but it is £330. That's Norfolk Event Medical. Can we do them separately? Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. First aid first. Yep. So, anybody got a comment on the first aid? Councillor Lewis?
You need it. So I think, and before we go into debate, I'll propose that you go and get them there, get them booked,
yep,
because you need it.
Councillor Lewis? Sorry?
Seconding.
Seconding.
I'll second it.
Right. Can you put your microphone on?
I did, but it's that way.
Right. So, all in favour then, please. Thank you.
That's all, thank you.
Thank you. And next one, Tina.
Yep, so security. Phoenix have caused us quite a number of problems in the last few events they've done for us. They've also caused problems, I understand, with other people's events. We've always used them because they're fairly cheap and in the beginning did the job reasonably well. We looked at who else was available for St Winald's last year and we settled on Excalibur, who are the preferred security company that the borough uses for all their parades and for the mart and all sorts of things. The quotes are very similar. £567 for 4 operatives, so that would be 2 down at the Hollies Junction and then 1 each at the top of High Street South and High Street North. We've got to be really careful in the light of the Liverpool disaster that people don't come through and are not able to drive through. So I think my recommendation would be go with Excalibur, who we trust and who have proven themselves to be very, very capable. Again, for your discussion.
Again, I think we should book them so we've got them covered. Councillor Leach?
Yeah, I think this is a long time coming. I would support changing to Excalibur Security. Yeah.
Councillor Levers?
I'll second that. Does this work? I'll second that.
Yep. All in favour then, please. Thank you.
That's all, thank you.
And now we go on to the fun fair Christmas.
Yep, so as it said in the report, we were without the fun fair last year. Their risk assessment meant that they didn't want to come. As you may recall, we had gales that day and we had to move all the gazebos, all the stall holders inside, well, as many as we possibly could. And the fun fair decided they didn't want to operate under those circumstances. It was disappointing to start with, but then by the end of the event, many people, including myself, who have to look after all these people that turn up, thought how safer it felt on the market with no fun fair rides on there. The fun fair provider has said that that's what makes it worth coming. The fact that he has, for the last 20 years, bought 3 rides with him, or 3 attractions. I think the hooker duck is not a ride, but 3 attractions. And when I spoke to him about maybe going on to the town square, he thinks it can only accommodate 1 ride on the town square. And in which case it probably wouldn't be worth his while coming, because the footfall will be less in his view. I'm not sure whether it would. And he relies on the footfall for his income for that event.
Can I just say our footfall last year was extremely high and we were busy because King's Lynn had cancelled their Christmas lights. Other than that.
So I guess the question is, do we want to go back to how it was before? Do we want the 3 attractions on the market side, or do we explore something different this year?
Councillor Campbell-Robb.
Can we look at having the stall holders in the town hall as we did due to the storm last year, inside, and then having the fun fair outside?
So there are some stallholders that can come inside. We usually have a craft fair in here. Last year we squeezed everybody in and it was uncomfortably tight, I would say, just so that everybody could trade on that day. Lots of people like to be outside in a stall, if I'm honest, because they've got more room. They're not in so close competition with each other.
Square. So the other square gets used as well.
It has previously, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have stalls all the way out on the town square, down the road and on here, and a craft fair in here.
That's what I'm thinking.
Any other comments, then, please? You'll vote on pump fairs. Just a vote on pump fair.
The Mayor has asked for my opinion on it as well, and I fully support what the Deputy Clerk has said. I appreciate that going against a tradition that's gone back 20 years is an uncomfortable decision to make, and it is ultimately your decision. But from a health and safety point of view, for the last 3 years since the end of COVID, the numbers have been increasing, despite the fact that King's Lynn did cancel theirs last year. It has been increasing year on year. And I think that's as our reputation is growing since COVID. And my opinion from a health and safety point of view is I would not be comfortable having 3 attractions on there. But as I say, ultimately it is your decision. But we would need to monitor how many people can go on that town square, in my opinion, to make sure that it was safe and we don't have an uncomfortable position. Yeah.
Councillor Wells.
Yeah, well, it goes back to me driving you to the carnival. It was just packed this year. We've got so many more people living down them now, and they're taking an interest in what we're doing and they're supporting us, and it's going to be really crowded, I think. So.
Councillor Levers.
I agree with what the Deputy Clerk has said. The only thing I would like to suggest is, could we have more children's stalls? Perhaps invite, like, I don't know, any games or something that we could invite people to do, around the edges.
What are you thinking?
You said about the duck, but, whatever it is.
We won't bring that on its
No,
own.
no, I'm not talking about that, but I don't know. I just think that would be nice if we could have games, because those stalls cost a lot of money for parents. The sabres and that, they're very expensive. So maybe if we, I don't know, something that is less money and that the children could enjoy.
Councillor Levers, are you thinking similar to what the young farmers did last year with their hook and animal? Yeah, anything. Yeah. We could certainly advertise for some specific spaces that are for children's entertainment or something, yeah.
Young farmers. Good idea. Councillor Downham.
You already have 18 games for children to play, but I don't know where they are.
Yeah.
They used to be upstairs in the room.
Yeah, we use them at Halloween.
They're safely organised in a cupboard at the JCC.
I'm going to propose that we don't have a fun fair at Christmas then, so do I have a second for that? Councillor Hobbs, second. All in favour then, please. Thank you. And against? Thank you. Right. 16.6. Security and first aid arrangements for Heritage Open Day. Yep, please.
So plans for the Heritage Open Day are hotting up. Discover Downham have worked incredibly hard to produce what I hope is going to be a fantastic day. We had a bit of a discussion about security and first aid at the last meeting, because as a group of individuals, they didn't quite see the importance of professional security and dedicated first aid. We as a council have a slightly different public responsibility, I would suggest. And the costs of the security and the first aid really will make a hit on the amount of money that they've been able to raise so far. So this is purely a request, not from them, but from me, because I'm part of the organising committee down there, to see whether the council can see their way to help in support with the security and first aid expenses.
Councillor Levers.
Having attended most of the meetings, the Heritage Centre have put a lot of effort into this. They have got sponsorship from a lot of businesses, but as the Deputy Clerk said, we need some help with security and the first aid. Now, is it possible that we could give them a grant from the grant fund?
They've already got money from the council, haven't they? Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Apparently it would be a paperwork exercise at the moment, as we do not have a committee, so it would be a full council decision, which could be. Yep.
So this is a joint event. It is labelled of Discover Downham and Downham Market Town Council. Already they've had £500 from the council, but honestly, if you knew what was going on, it's a drop in the ocean. And this just seemed a sensible way of getting the standards of safety that we require as a council, but giving them some sort of support with it.
If we're involved in this, then really we've got to do it, and I'll propose that we can come up with the funds or whatever for whatever you need for the day, for the security and the first aid.
Could we have any other comments first before we have a proposal, please? Anybody else got anything to say? Councillor Campbell-Robb.
Could we hire the security ourselves as the town council for Discover Downham and just work on the understanding that it's actually under the control of Discover Downham, this event, instead of making a grant, which would be a paperwork exercise?
We could do that. All of the bookings are going through Discover Downham, however, for everything, just to keep the accounting correct. I mean, they're doing a fantastic job on the accounting. They've got spreadsheets all over the place. And I think for ownership, I think it needs to come through them.
Yeah. Councillor Brooks.
I'm just going to reiterate what Councillor Lewis said. This is going to benefit the entire town. It's advertised nationally or further afield, I believe. I've looked at the website like Councillor Levers. They have got a lot of sponsorship. They are working incredibly hard. We need to be seen to be supporting this and putting everything we can into it, because it's going to benefit the whole community and further afield.
Councillor Walls.
Yeah, after what Councillor Lewis said, I was just thinking probably not a monetary grant or anything like that. Could we supply them with security instead? An amount of security?
Well, we've got the quotes.
Right.
We could pay for it. It doesn't. It seems a bit of a paper exercise, really.
I know it is, but...
Because we'll end up paying for it.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
It won't go for anything else. It's not like that we're going to put it into a big pot and that won't get... The proper security won't be bought. It definitely will be.
They'll put a lid on it, though, won't it? They won't expect too much. We'll just say we're prepared to do this or we're prepared to do that.
It's for you to decide.
How much are those quotes?
So first aid will be 330 with the same people that we spoke about earlier, and security will be 567. With the same company, yeah.
Councillor Lynch.
This is only another 390 quid. I think we just stomp it up at the end of the day. It's for a good cause. It's for the town.
Yep. I'm going to go back to Councillor Lewis. Yep.
So my proposal is that we find the money to support this event with their security and first aid for the day.
Okay. Councillor Leach, second. All in favour then, please. Lovely, thank you. 17. Because of time restraints, number 17 is going to be on a future agenda. We'll go straight to 18, councillors' questions and to receive suggestions for future agenda items. Questions but no discussion, please. Thank you. Councillor Lewis.
Can I ask, have the fire doors been done in the town hall yet?
You've got to wait till the property committee meeting for that agenda item. I've put it on there. Yeah, no, it's due to be done on the 30th of June.
I've got to say, because I thought we voted for it all to be done in full council.
Oh, I was doing an update. I'm only joking. I was doing an update for property. They're booked for Monday, the 30th of June.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Lewis.
I know it's property committee or probably bill now, but what about John Doyle's memorial? Soakaways and all that? Have we got any start on that?
Again, all on the property committee agenda, but as an update, we're collecting the picture with the plaque on Thursday, and once the soakaway is agreed at property committee, assuming it is, then we will then purchase the boat. It seems silly purchasing that until we've got an actual location to fix in that flooring.
Councillor Leach.
Just want to bring up something that Councillor White was going to bring up. A woman complained that she fell over the steps outside the clock room, and he just wondered whether he could put a bit of tape around it to highlight where the steps are. Because the woman went over with a baby, so it was...
Yep. And can I mention alligator thing at the bottom of the roadway, please?
Again, on the property agenda.
Good, thank you. Councillor Poet.
Yes, I don't know if it's appropriate, but you've deferred item 17 for the next agenda. I'm just asking the question, does that need to be in confidentiality?
In my opinion, no, unless you're going to say anything that shouldn't be said on camera. As long as it's a general discussion, I see no need for it to go into confidentiality.
I would give you a warning before we talked anyway, but anyway, we're not doing it today anyway. Any other questions? Councillor Lewis, I think you had your hand up.
Yeah, just regards to the email that came out about the JCC changing rooms, where they've said they only require 2 changing rooms now. What 2 changing rooms are they? Are they just for the teams? And where do the referees and men and women change if it comes to that eventually?
We'll get the report in the autumn, is what I've been told, but it's 2 changing rooms for the actual players, so 1 for, 1 against side, and then there are 2 small changing rooms. I think he said 6 metres square, then a toilet, then a shower in each of the officials' changing rooms, whereas the initial draft drawings, which obviously will come by Monday, had 4 group changing rooms plus 2 official changing rooms. So it will knock out the need for 2 other...
And also on that, it says these are revised drawings, what he's doing. So who see the first set of drawings to get him to do a revised set?
So the first meeting, the senior team met. He did some drawings, then he did some. We met with him last week. As I said to you, the first meeting was in March. He came back this week, did some more measurements, and realised that there's a certain bit at the back that would need slightly adjusting because of telephone poles, etc. So we've not physically had they've not been emailed to us, they've not been given to us physically, just showing pieces of paper at the moment.
All right. Could they be circulated to all councillors next time he sends anything round, please?
As I say, we literally haven't had a document. Once I've got them, then absolutely I'll send it around.
Councillor Perkins.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's been over 3 years since the closure of the sixth form site, and since the now special educational needs look like it's actually moving up to the main school site, we've heard nothing from the Cambridge Educational Trust about the future of the site, and I would imagine things have changed because of the moving of the SEN. Could we actually approach them to find out what the current position is?
I received an update from Joshua Osborne earlier on today about that, actually. Joshua, how you got that?
I did say questions only for next time, no discussion, please. We have not got time. I'll took that question, it's been noted. Number 19 now is to note the date of the next meeting of the full council will be the 15th of July. Please note that, 15th of July. Thank you. 2 minutes to